Hey, welcome to Learning with Lou, and today we're going to talk about dividing fractions by whole numbers. Before I even start explaining here, I just really recommend, if you haven't seen my dividing fractions by other fractions video, please go check that out because the process is pretty much the exact same thing. Dividing fractions by whole numbers just has one extra step. So if you've seen my other video already, you'll know 90% of this process. So when it comes to dividing a fraction by a whole number, you see, for example, we have 5/8 divided by 4. The first thing you want to do is rewrite your whole number as a fraction over 1. So instead of 5/8 divided by 4, we'll have 5/8 divided by 4 over 1, which is still 4 wholes, we just gave it a denominator of 1. Once you've rewritten your whole number as a fraction over 1, then you just go back to KCF. Keep, change, flip. So in case you didn't see the other video, keep means you keep your first fraction. So 5/8 is just going to stay 5/8. We're going to keep it the same. The C for change means that you change your division symbol to a multiplication symbol. So instead of 5/8 divided by, we're going to have 5/8 times. So you can see the K is for keep, the C is for change your symbol, and then you have the F for flip your second fraction. So we actually made our 4 into a fraction, 4 over 1. You flip it upside down, so you have 1/4. And then you just multiply the fractions like you normally would. Numerator times numerator, so 5 times 1 gives us 5. And then denominator times denominator. 8 times 4 gives us 32. So 5 over 32 is our answer. And 5 over 32 can't be simplified anymore, so this is just our final answer. Here we have some practice problems. I'll do one with you just so you can see this process again, and then I'm going to ask you to pause and try the rest on your own. So we have 1/3 divided by 5. First thing we're going to do is change it to 1/3 divided by, and we're going to rewrite our 5 as a fraction over 1. So it's really 1/3 divided by 5 over 1. Now we do KCF. We're going to keep our original fraction, 1/3. We're going to change our division symbol to multiplication, and then we're going to flip our second fraction. So now we have 1/3 times 1/5. 1 times 1 is going to give us 1. And then you do your denominator times your denominator. 3 times 5 is going to give us 15. So 1/15 is our final answer. How about you pause here and try the rest of these practice problems on your own, and then when you unpause, you can see how you did. Okay, so hopefully you gave the rest of those a try on your own, and you can compare your work to mine. Now, I showed all my work, but I circled all of my answers, so if you want to just compare your final answers to my final answers, you could go ahead and do that quickly. Now, if you take a look for each one, I did the same thing as I showed you. I first rewrote the equation with my whole number as a fraction over 1, and then for each one, I just did keep, change, flip. For the first one here, 8/12 divided by 3, I did keep, change, flip, and I got 8 over 36. I simplified it down to 2/9. 5/6 divided by 3, I ended up getting 5/18, and there is no way to simplify that, so it's already in its simplest form. 5/18 is your final answer. 1/10 divided by 8, I got 1/80th, and my numerator is 1. I can't simplify anymore, so 1/80th is my final answer. For 2/6 divided by 4, I got 2/24ths after my keep, change, flip, but I simplified it down to 1/12, so that's my final answer. And then for 5/8 divided by 9, I got 5 over 72, which can't be simplified anymore, so that's my final answer. By the way, if you like these practice problems and want to have even more to do for yourself, you can go ahead and check the link in my description so you can get to my shop and you can download any of these resources that you need. And that's all there is to it when you're dividing fractions by whole numbers. It's very similar to dividing fractions by other fractions, you just have one additional step, which is rewriting your whole number as a fraction over 1. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you feel that you learned something from this video. I really hope that I'm making these math concepts easier for you, so I really appreciate your support. Thank you again, and never stop learning.